On the surface, it may look like the narcissist has forgotten you. They walk around like nothing ever happened, don't they? They pretend like they are unaffected. They smile, they flirt, they go on with life as if you never even mattered. Some of them jump into new relationships, and you will see them plastering their happiness everywhere, especially where you may notice. They act like you were just another name in a long list of experiences. If someone brings you up, they will shrug. They'll say, yeah, it didn't work out, or it was just too much drama. Or they will say nothing at all, as if silence will erase the entire history between you and them. But the truth is, their silence is not peace, their new relationship is not joy, their shrug is not healing. The truth is, they think about you more than they will ever admit, more than they want to admit. And when they think of you, they do not just remember you, they relive you. You are a wound they pretend does not hurt, but deep down, you never stopped bleeding. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. The topic for today is what goes through a narcissist's head when they think of the one they broke. If that sounds interesting, please subscribe to my channel. We're just 5K away from 500,000K. That is a huge number. I would love to accomplish this goal with you. So go ahead, press that subscribe button, invite others to do so, share it with others, and let's get to the top. When your name is brought up to a narcissist, let's say by a mutual friend, by a family member, even in a random conversation, it's like striking a nerve. They may not show it on their face, but something inside them changes instantly. They go rigid. Their tone changes. Their eyes flicker. You were not supposed to be remembered. You were supposed to disappear. But the moment you are brought up, something wakes up inside them. Something they have been trying to bury. And in that moment, they feel seen, exposed, and completely cornered. Because they know what they did. And even if they have painted themselves as the victim in the story they tell others, they are aware on some twisted, buried level that they were the villain in yours. So begins the process of suppression. The narcissist does not want to deal with the discomfort of accountability. They do not want to face the reality that they caused so much harm. So what do? They immediately try to suppress the memory. They distract themselves. They talk over it. They pretend like it did not happen. Or worse, they will start rationalizing it in their head, minimizing it to the point of absurdity. It wasn't that bad. She overreacted. He was too sensitive. It's not like I killed someone. And if someone confronts them directly, if someone says, but didn't you cheat on them? Didn't you cheat on your partner? Or wasn't he really good to you? That is when they scramble. That is when they start twisting reality in real time. Their excuses come fast. It wasn't like I cheated on her with 3 people at once. It was just a fling. People do that. It's not that serious. Or she made a big deal out of everything. Always emotional, always blowing things out of proportion. These excuses do not come from logic. They come from panic, which you may not be able to see, from a desperate need to keep the image intact. And if they are with someone who isn't buying the lie, they simply switch tactics. They act aloof. They say, oh, it didn't work out, or we were not compatible. But inside, a fire has started. Their mind is spiraling. The flashbacks return, the conversations, the look in your eyes when you cried, the things they said, the things they didn't say, the silent treatment, the stonewalling, the gaslighting, the manipulation, the day you finally walked away. It all comes flooding back like a nightmare they cannot wake up from. But it does not last long. That brief moment of awareness, that flicker of guilt or regret, it dies off very quickly because the narcissist's brain cannot sit in shame. It short circuits. The reflection turns on for a few seconds, and then, boom, they snap back into delusion, back into the hero role, back into the victim story. They gaslight themselves the same way they gaslighted you. They will say, I did not force them to stay. They chose to stay. If they stayed, even after I told them I was not happy, then that's on them. They point to your loyalty and call it foolishness. They look at all the things you did to save the relationship and use those very things to prove to themselves that you deserved the outcome. How cruel. They say she should have known better. He saw the red flags and still stayed. So how is it my fault? This is how they rewrite history inside their mind. Why? Because the truth is unbearable. The truth would shatter them into a million pieces. So they build another version of reality where they are still the good person, where they are justified, they were pushed to the edge, where you were the one who broke them. And in that twisted version of the story, they tell themselves that you were naive, that you were weak, you made them do it, you brought out the worst in them. There is no space or remorse in that version of the story, is there? There is only blame, and you carry all of it. Now, if you were the one to discard them, if you had the strength to walk away first, then what brews inside them is not just shame, it is rage. They start living in fantasies where they punish you. They start imagining your failure. They want you to lose. They want your relationship to fall apart. They want you to come crawling back, and when you do not, it kills them, because in their mind, they own you, they created you. You are not supposed to survive without them. So your success becomes a threat. Your healing becomes an insult. And that is when their thoughts become really dark and obsessive. That's when they start planning and plotting. That's when their energy starts reaching you, even if you have gone full no contact. You start to feel it too. Random chaos in your life, sudden anxiety, dreams where they appear, looking at you, chasing you, saying nothing but draining everything. You feel like something is pulling you back, and you just cannot explain it. That is a lingering attachment. That is the spiritual injury they are trying to reopen, because they are still trying to punish you for choosing peace. That injury you gave them by leaving, it never healed. It festered, and they carry it around like a gaping hole that nothing else can fill. Not their new partner, not their money, not their achievements, because they did not just lose you, they lost the only chance they had at being loved without having to earn it. Now, if they discarded you, and the story changes again. In their mind, that was power, that was control, that was their way of staying in charge of the narrative. Even if they were the one who left, there is an underlying bitterness, because deep down they feel they did not extract everything they could have from you. They did not use you to your full potential. And yes, that is the only kind of regret they feel. Not the regret of hurting you, not the regret of losing your soul, but the regret of not draining you fully before you collapsed. They regret not getting every last drop of attention, care, sacrifice, sex, time, money, or admiration. That is the only thing they wish they had done differently. Bled you dry. That is what it is. When they miss you, it's not because they remember your laugh or the way you used to look at them. It's not because they loved your soul like you did. They never saw your soul. They never saw you. They never took the time to connect with you. When they miss you, what they miss is what you did for them, the comfort, caretaking, the way you soothed their wounds, the way you made them feel important. They miss the mirror you held up to them, the one that reflected the version of themselves they loved pretending to be. But the real you, the one who was hurting, the one who was screaming silently while holding everything together, they never saw it. They could not see that because you were not a person to them. You were a source, right? A resource, a source of supply, a tool. And still, even with all the lies they have told you, even with the narrative they have crafted, even with the people they have convinced, you haunt them. You live in the background of their mind like a whisper they cannot mute. In quiet moments, in random songs, in the smell of your perfume on a stranger, in the empty silence after a fight with their new supply, you appear. And in those rare, terrifying moments of clarity, they know. They know they destroyed something sacred. They know they will never be loved like that. They know they lost someone who truly saw them, and they know they will spend the rest of their life pretending it never mattered. But it did, and that's what I want you to know. And no matter what they tell themselves, no matter how many times they say, it wasn't that bad, they remember. And it hurts, whether they acknowledge it or not. So, I hope I have helped you. So, this is what a narcissist thinks about you, in case you are wondering. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe. Go around, spread the word. We have to get to 500,000K as soon as possible. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.